Well, jumping over to REI, you mentioned them. As a result of going on this trip, I had to go multiple times to REI to get some gear for it. And they do it's a $10 or $20 one-time membership that then gets you discounts to their garage sales, which has highly discounted goods that people wait hours in line to get into. Then, based on all the money you spend there, each year you get a dividend back, often triple, quadruple the actual one-time fee on an annual basis. Then I'm going to a survival in the wilderness class that they offer for free for members in a couple weeks. And then they also do a blog that they just recently did a contest where they donated $5 million to restore trails in the United States that needed restoration. And they let people nominate the top 100 trails. And then from there, everybody got to vote their 10 favorites, and the money was divided out with a minimum and a maximum of that total dollar amount based on that. And that's, they could just write a blog saying, hey, we have ski boots this week. Come buy our ski boots. We now have kayaks. Come buy our kayaks. That's what a lot of brands are doing. But they've chosen to take a different route. And by doing those things, people still go in and buy stuff.
You just wrote about that. Was that in the Committing Passion article? Or was that the social media one?
It was in one of them because it really stuck out to me as a great content marketing strategy. What REI did on that. I
just pasted the link to that in the chat box there because you had a couple of good examples there of marketing to passion, where you talked about nothing but nets. You talked about your friends who were doing the 59 national parks.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell their backstory a little bit?
They were
the kind of audience that is going to respond to a company who's marketing to their passion.
They were a couple from Kansas City, and they decided to. I think they're teachers. They've been teaching their whole lives. They're in their 50s. They've traveled abroad. They've gone to national parks. Their kids are grown. They have grandkids, but they really wanted to really experience the parks. There's 59 national parks in the States, along with 400 some odd monuments. And they wanted to go to all 59 of the national parks and en route go to as many monuments as possible. So they started a website, 59nationalparks.com, and they spent 59 weeks going to all 59 of the different national parks, and they blogged about it, and they did meetups with other hikers and outdoors people. They had a big party to celebrate in the Badlands at the end of it. And they actually, one of the wife is a photographer, and now she's doing a book based off of that. So that was kind of their content marketing strategy, but they were able to do something they were passionate about, have fun with it. I had them on my podcast. They're great people, and it's just another way to, instead of just saying, hey, I have photos, come buy my photos, let's make something out of this. Let's make people care. Let's have some fun with it.
So let's continue on with the outdoor piece because, maybe we need to change the phrase from marketing passion to marketing to passions, or marketing to passionate people. Maybe it's marketing to passion. People talk about speaking to power, meaning that you can speak to authority and maintain your integrity and speak the truth to them, truth to power. So maybe this is marketing to passion. So along the same lines as your couple that toured the national parks, talk about ways companies could market to their passion, other companies that could appeal to them. They're out buying their supplies, they're out buying their hiking equipment, they're filling up their vehicle. They bought a vehicle. They are going through states. They're touring different states. They're staying. Maybe they're not staying in hotels. They may be staying in hotels on the road. I'm not sure what they're.
A lot of RV campsites.
Okay, so how would you market to their passion? If you're talking to a company that wants to reach this group, and maybe don't take the easy one, or maybe start with the easy one, go with an REI or some kind of outdoor outfitters, but then move into some of the supplemental pieces like gas stations. How would a gas station market to this kind of outdoor tourism passion?
Well, for instance, REI would be a pretty basic example of letting people just doing those outdoor classes to get them in and getting them excited. But a gas station, for instance, could do a piece where they're selling some type of historical map that gets collected at all of them. And once you collect 10 of them, then they're all outside of like these 10 different parks, you get a free tank of gas.
I know that Happy Holiday and I believe Happy's still in the chat there. Happy Holiday and I just got back from a trip to Wyoming, and whenever we were visiting the different ranger stations, they had different stickers that you could get. They were passing out a map. They had different decals that you could put on your vehicle to say that you toured through that area. Each one had a different theme for what was in that area. It would have been easy enough for any gas station to say, show us the decal and, get a free Gatorade or something. That could have been a good cross promotion.
Yeah, absolutely. It's almost getting back to the basics and thinking simple.
Who does a really bad job of marketing to passion? Who's strictly in it for the dough, Ray, me?
Oh man, dragging me into the muck with you, huh? I'm not gonna
go for the big national brands. Somebody's already complaining about them anyway.
Well, I was gonna say, it seems like I think it's more about the mindset when people talk at you instead of with you, or want you to talk with them. So probably a couple genres industries probably get pegged. Insurance or the auto industry. Not that you can't have fun with it or do a good job, but it seems like instead of talking with you and trying to create a relationship, they're just screaming at you and telling you, buy me, buy me, buy me, right, without any real value necessarily. Like you can't go without us. Logan just said insurance big time.
Yeah. I mean, they've got no time for the relationship. It's, give me your credit card, give me your credit card number, make sure you give me the security code on the back, and we're good. On to the next transaction. Everything has become transactional, and those are the same companies that complain about how transactional businesses become, right? We both have media background. And what the number one thing that media companies complain about is, their advertising time has become a commodity. Nobody wants to pay for the value that they're giving you. And to me, the problem always came because they got the value mix wrong. Media gives you value after you bought. It's value added, and they should be giving you the value on the front end. And I think that's where a lot of these successful companies that are marketing to passion have it right. They're giving you the value on the front end.
Yes, because there's a lot of companies, at least locally, in our area, that start off strictly grassroots, strictly just trying to make by with organic social posts, and they're giving that value as much as possible on the front end. And as you see them start to grow, then they're getting into media, but they don't think of it as a transactional relationship because all along they've been grooming this organic relationship.
I mean, we all have that friend that calls you when they need something, right?
Yeah.
You don't hear from them forever, and then, their car breaks down and you got to call them. And the worst, sometimes you are that friend. Like, gosh, should have checked in more often, right? Because now you need something.
Yes. A good example, I think, locally and nationally is the T-shirt company Homage. They really have tapped into the consumers' passions behind different sports events, different iconic images of our past. And that's what their whole social strategy was. And they did that organically from the ground up to start. And now they actually are big enough where they can do some paid search marketing, email marketing, and other things. But it still has that local flair and organic flavor and that passionate zest to it, because that's where they came from. And they don't really, it's almost like they don't know any other way. Why would they flip the script now?
So I'm going to ask you to elaborate a little more on Homage's practices. To give a quick, we've picked up a couple extra guests in the room. I want to welcome you all to our discussion on marketing to passion with my friend Marketing Mike R., otherwise known as Mike Rudd. You can find Mike at marketingfunwithmike.com. And we're talking about what companies can do to market directly to people with passions rather than just throwing advertising at them. If you like the topic of the conversation, you're looking forward to getting some ideas out of here, if you don't mind, click the little Tell a Little Bird button over there. Hopefully this isn't mirrored and I am pointing indeed in the correct direction. Am I pointing in the right direction? Mike, give me a nod.
Yeah.
Am I pointing at the button?
No,
okay.
No.
Okay. I'm not?
No. I'm seeing two hands. Go the other way.
I'm pointing over there. Am I pointing to the blue button that says Tell a Little Bird?
No, you got to go the other way.
Oh, it is mirrored. So I'm not looking at the right screen. So there should be a button over there that says Tell a Little Bird. Mike, are you next to the button then?
No, I'm not. So that's what really makes it
everything
confusing.
Is flipped on this. It's a lot of fun. Blab is a great tool, but there's a learning curve to it, and part of it is the display is odd for me on this side. I do not see. I'm pointing at the button because I think it's over there, and actually it's over there. So that's going to be bizarre. I think that Mike is over here. Are you there, Mike?
No.
Am I pointing in the wrong direction? You're on the other side?
Yeah.
You try it, buddy. It ain't that funny. So,
I'm not putting my hand. I'm just keeping my hands right here, man.
The little high five piece, which I'm not pointing in the right side, right? It's over here.
There you
That's
go.
Hilarious.
Right there.
They can't even put the volume in the other piece on the right side. That means you're giving us props. If we make a good point, hit the props button, give us some high fives. We appreciate that. It lets us know we're on the right track. Tell the Little Bird, get some other people into the room to continue the conversation. Mike, back to what you were talking about with Homage, because
yes,
when Homage came up, is it homage.com?
Yes.
So they're a client of yours at one point, right?
For a short period. Yeah, we did some small things at the radio station.
Okay. So Homage is a t-shirt company. There are a ton of t-shirt companies out there. They specialize in kind of sports and retro designs, I would say. Is that accurate?
Yep. Throwbacks, paying homage.
So I get that the audience is interested in the product they create, right? So they're marketing to sports. They can create products that the sports fan will like. Is that not just good audience research and good good product development strategy? What are they doing to market to the passion other than creating a product that they might be interested in?
Well, if you go to their Facebook page, which is facebook.com/homage, you will see their last post it just says happy 50th birthday to Thunder Dan. And it's a photo of Dan Marley, who, if you followed basketball in the mid 90s, the Charles Barkley, Michael Jordan era, he was one of Barkley's main guys on the Suns. It just says happy 50th birthday to Thunder Dan. It's a homage. They're paying homage. It's a throwback. They're not just posting a photo of a t-shirt that says, buy me, here's the link. But by doing that and having just that passion and that edge and that's trying to talk to somebody instead of at them, they will probably sell a couple of t-shirts as a result of it.
Right. So it's a conversation. And a lot of people have been talking about having conversations on social media, but it's having a conversation about the topics that your audience is interested in and not the topics that you're interested in.
Yes.
So many people on social media want to talk about the new product they have coming out or the sale that, hey, I'm talking to them about our specials. We've got a $500 rebate this month. It's only good to the end of the month. We're having conversations, and that just doesn't count, does it?
No. It really doesn't. Because at the end of the day, why should I care?
So what are some ways that these companies can go about discovering what their audience cares about?
Yeah, because that's at the end of the day. You have to make somebody care, and they have to want to care. You can't force somebody to care. You have to give them a reason.
Companies can uncover the things their prospects care about because they're just starting the conversation.
By listening to them, by talking to them, by trial and error, to be quite honest. Just trying to understand what they want and understand what they need out of the relationship. And Logan just actually threw in a good point. There is,
let's actually, hey, Logan, let me explain. We can bring other people into this chat. I've got the chairs locked right now because I wanted to have the conversation with Mike. Would you be willing to come in and sit down in the hot seat and talk about the point you just made in the chat?
It's a great point. Let's see. He's in.
Logan, welcome. Thanks for participating. Tell us a little more about what you put in the chat there.
I own a social media marketing company, and what we do is we go by the rule of 80-20. So when you're scrolling through social media, people get bombarded with sales information all the time, and that's what kind of drags them away from a company. So we always try and get our customers to the 80-20 rule. So 80%, so post like pictures and throwback stuff and just informational stuff. So your customers can kind of feel a direct connection with you. And then maybe once every couple weeks, put a promotion out there.
Right. So I know that Mike's a big fan of Gary Vaynerchuk. Logan, how about you?
Yes.
All right. So his formula is really great. It's jab, 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 right hook.
Exactly.
All right. So it's give, ask.
Yep.
What are some ways that you would advise your clients, Logan, to jab more? What are some ways that they can be giving?
Well, what we do is for the giving, are you talking like contests and stuff? Is that kind of what you're talking about?
You know what? Think about a success story. If we were talking about one of your clients and somebody you've worked with, some advice or a campaign that you ran that was about giving before you asked for them to take action that you could tell a story about.
We have we just actually let them go out on their own, but they were a hair company, real small hair designer. And what they did is she posted personal messages on her Facebook wall all the time. And she would give, she actually posted a picture of her helping out a homeless man who had really long hair and obviously hadn't been able to afford it, so she gave him a haircut. And she really made people feel like they were really talking to them. And then after about 3 weeks of doing that, she posted on there, 25% off coupon, come in and get your haircut. And I'm not kidding you, she had a line out the door all the way wrapped around the building.
That's pretty powerful.
Yes.
Mike, what do you think that the next step for that client could have been? So she builds up the interest and goodwill with her audience.
Next step is it's funny that was the example you used there, Logan, because I've told I get my haircut at Jekyll and Hyde in Columbus. Angie is my home girl who started that. And I always tell her, I'm like, what you got to do is one day of free kids haircuts or free haircuts for homeless people or a haircut-a-thon and that you donate back whatever it is. And you do that one day a year, and the publicity and the goodwill, and it's nice. You just feel good when you do that.
Yes.
will come full. So that could be a next step.
Right. So, and that's where I was going to go with it too. So if that is a cause that she can get behind, if that's something she wants to maintain, she can create a whole.
I'm sorry, I still can't hear you.
You can hear me? It looks like you're locking up, Logan. I'm going to boot you from this chair. So Mike, you can hear me okay?
Yeah.
All right. So one of the things I think would be neat for Logan's client, if that's a cause she's interested in, helping, giving a hand up to some homeless folks. The haircuts are one thing. I've seen some other people promote that they'll update resumes for people who are unemployed and going for a job interview. Dry cleaners, I've seen some notices and promotion from dry cleaners who are willing to clean a set of clothes for people who are going in for a job interview. I think all of those you could put together into one piece. So if she's doing haircuts, she gets a laundromat to offer free cleaning. You could create a cause behind it if that's something she's passionate about. But you can't fake it though, right, Mike?
Nope, can't. Got to be authentic. I've thought about, and hopefully nobody lives in German Village that's listening on here and is going to steal my idea, but I had this idea. The neighborhood I live in, no yards, people work long hours, and everyone has dogs. I had this idea to do a dog walking business here, and I thought perhaps I could start it out by offering to walk dogs for free for either the elderly or people who surgeries, broken legs, whatever the situation might be. And that's authentic. I care. I enjoy walking dogs. I care about those people. And maybe that's a good way to spark what I'm doing and start it out. Or I do one of those one walk a day like that. I'm not quite sure.
So let's talk about that a little bit some more, because I think that's a great piece. Is it just something you're passionate about, you want to help out, and that's why you're starting it? Is there a strategic marketing reason that you bring it up?
No, I think it brings up the way if my idea was to start a dog walking business here, I could start it with that and start it with some goodwill and keep that goodwill, as opposed to just going door to door and saying, I'll walk your dog for $50.
Right. So one of my clients, and I've spoken to their dealer group a couple of different times. I'm friends with the local owner dealers here in Columbus, Ohio, where we are, and that's Dogwatch. So Dogwatch is a hidden fence company. So that could have easily been something that Dogwatch could have started on their own, a dog walking service for people who temporarily are unable to do it themselves, or for older folks who can't take their pets around more often. They're serving an audience that is of interest to them. It aligns perfectly with their prospect. If you started that service, they would be silly not to say, oh, look at what this guy's doing. How can we amplify his efforts? They don't need to take it over. They could just help you spread the word more, help you get more people to walk the dogs. I know that the local owners have kids. I don't know if they're scouting group age or not, but that would be a great thing for their Boy Scouts or their little Boy Scout or little Girl Scout to help with. Their group, their den, their troop could be helping with the dog watch. It furthers their efforts for serving the public. The troop. It gets more notoriety for Dogwatch themselves to put themselves in the public eye, doing something that people need and helps out and serves the passion of their audience.
Absolutely. Can I throw a little shout out to the Boy Scout groups right now, because as you know, my wife is putting on the Alzheimer's walks here in Central Ohio in development at the Alzheimer's Association. And the Circleville walk, we had the Boy Scout troop spread out 10 volunteers. And those kids worked their behinds off for us all day, and they were just incredible group of kids. So big shout out to the Boy Scout troops around here.
Very cool. And that's another audience that, just to jump back to REI and the outfitters, that's another group that they could super serve. Yeah. The Scouts.
Absolutely.
So, Mike, is there a step, is there a process that a marketer, a company, a brand that perhaps hasn't focused on marketing to a passion before could put into place to begin changing their outlook on marketing? Where are they going to start?
I think start thinking about one outcome that the consumer really wants out of your product and not what you want to sell them. For instance, auto. People want safety. Is there a way to put together a goodwill seatbelt campaign, or, giving props, virtual high fives to parents who are always buckling up their kids? Is there a way for an insurance company to hand out a reward for good driving other than just like a 2% discount on a premium? Think about what people really want out of the product you're giving and offering, and try to tap into one of those outcomes instead of focusing on what you want your outcome to be.
Right. And I think a good place to start is, if you want to be genuine, start with your own passion. So if you got a local business manager, let's start with what that person's passionate about so they can be authentic about what they're doing. If you've got an audience of followers, it doesn't matter if it's 10 or 50 or 5 on Facebook. If you've got social media followers, why don't you ask them what they're passionate about? They're following you. Everybody's always worried about getting more people to like their Facebook page or more followers on Twitter or follow us on Instagram. And I don't think that the companies are following them back enough, nor paying attention to what they're posting. Because if they would just look at the stream if they would follow the people who are following them and look at the things that they're posting and tweeting, they could absolutely find out what they were interested in. If they found out that a lot of people that are following them are running in a marathon, or they're pet owners, or they like camping, or they're going on vacation, or they're into fly fishing, you could market to that interest group.
Yes.
Without overtly saying, I'm going to send you a survey, send me the top 5 causes you're interested in. Because that runs the risk of not being very genuine either, because they're going to answer the things that you think they should care about.
Absolutely. And we had a comment there about the negative comments and not getting an answer. You could just start there. When people write on a social outlet or react to you, just respond like a human.
IPA Solutions, do you want to take the seat here and elaborate a little more on your response? If you don't, it's okay, but I'm inviting you to click on and pick up that seat. Just let me know if you decide you want to. But you're right. When they have a negative feel, if they feel strongly against something, that's certainly something you should be paying attention to.
Yeah, no doubt.
So many people got into social media, companies got on social media because they saw it as a place to advertise for free.
Free advertising.
It was another place to broadcast, right? I'm going to schedule my posts like I'm scheduling spots in a TV station or something.
It's too late for him. Yeah, it does go back to free advertising. It's like, I get on Facebook to post a photo from my trip so that my grandma can see it, not so that I can watch a brand's TV commercial that I already saw on TV earlier.
Yeah, and because they think they can target you based on your interests. Here's a twist. Here's an idea. So with all the targeting and audience profiling that people can do, let's say for Facebook ads, Facebook's always talking about how you can deliver ads to people who like your competitor's page, or you can find out exactly the kind of movies or books or music that people like. Why don't you do that research, and then instead of turning it into an advertising campaign, why don't you turn it into a marketing plan, a strategic messaging campaign where you can talk about the things that matter to them? Maybe you discover that all your fans are into a certain kind of music. You can bring a band into play, or maybe you need to start having a book club and bring an author in to speak to your group.
Yeah.
You're just not going to know until you start listening.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that's the key word. Listen.
Mike, I know we got a little late start here and we're probably going over time. Any parting words of wisdom on this topic or next moves to make in this area of marketing to passion?
Just first tap into your own passions, then tap into hopefully your customers' passions. Make sure that you're authentic and human, and just treat the customers, your coworkers, treat everyone like a human. Treat everyone like your great grandma. And I think it'll probably work out. Don't treat them like robots or people that you just need to sell something to.
I use the grandma rule a lot. It's no matter what you're saying to a customer, if you could add grandma to the end of it, I think that tells you if you're on the right track or not.
Exactly.
That's not our policy, grandma. that just wouldn't sound nice, would it?
No.
You talk a lot about finding passions. We're talking about marketing to passion. As we're on our way out here, you know a lot about helping people find their passions, right? Didn't you write a book about something in that area? It dealt with finding individual passions.
Yeah, I've written two of them about finding. For me, it was finding your hot dog stand, which is a metaphor for finding your passion and tapping into your passion in life. No nitrates necessary when looking for that hot dog stand, but I worked at a hot dog stand in college, and it taught me to never work a job that you didn't like. So therefore, I think everyone has hot dog stands in their life, and go find those passions and tap into them, and either start your own business, work for an industry that you believe in, or a career path that you believe in.
Yep. So they can find the book. What's the title?
Hot Dogs, a Little Marketing and a Lot of Fun. And the sequel is When Can I Catch Up and Find My Hot Dog Stand? And
you can find out more about those books, and I think he even gives away a chapter sometimes if you visit marketingfunwithmike.com. One last point on this topic, as you were talking about finding your hot dog stand, finding your personal hot dog stand. With this marketing with passion theme, marketing to passion theme, I think it comes down to, given the vernacular you use, I think it comes down to marketing to your client's hot dog stand.
Yeah.
Marketing to hot dog stands.
Yeah, it is. It's marketing to what people care about, and you have to you have to have something that people care about.
I need to find out what your hot dog stand is and market to that hot dog stand.
Yes.
All right. Well, thanks for participating. I know it was your first Blab. It's my second on camera. So thanks for people bearing with us. Certainly appreciate it. Most of this will be available on a replay because I pressed the record button late. I think Mike and I are going to try. Did you like it? You want to do this again?
I loved it. I appreciate you having me on here, man.
We'll figure out another time to get involved in another discussion. Thanks for participating, and have a good night.
Thanks, everybody.
And Mike, I think all we have to do is leave the room and it's over.
Okay. You want to jump on Skype?
Yeah, cool. Give me a second to boot it up. I'll talk to you later.